Garcia, and I'm with the Fighter's Voice.
Well, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Strap up, put your mouthpiece on, and get ready to be knocked out. Are you ready for the hottest show, The Fighter's Voice, with your hosts, Richard Ortiz, and the hottest redhead, Carol, the cut woman, Sarah Gusa. We're just knocking out the competition only on The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. The Fighter's Voice.
Fresno, California, we're live in Mad Production Studios, the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. We got a great show for you today. With us in studio, we have the man, the myth, the legend. You know what, he could even turn, what's that thing on Betty Crocker, Carol? You know that white guy that's kind of all fluffy and stuff? What's his name? You know, you touch him in the stomach and he kind of giggles
Pillsbury.
and stuff. Pillsbury. He could even turn this dude, get him into shape, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Get him into shape, man. That's what he does.
Yes.
Charles Trimley is our guest.
Yes.
Strength and conditioning coach, father, mentor, friend. You say it. I mean, the man wears different hats, Carol. Mm-hmm. He does.
Yes.
Welcome back, Carol.
Thank you.
Carol, the
Yes.
woman, the co-host with the most.
Thank you.
The redhead.
Yes.
Raising the dead.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm
Because
here.
last Tuesday, what were you doing last Tuesday?
I was getting my nails done, and I went
Exact-
shopping at Macy's. No, I'm kidding.
exactly.
No, I was sick.
Exactly.
I was a little under the weather.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she said she was under the weather, but yet
I
she had her
was.
nails done.
No.
She's posting that she was eating lobster,
No.
margaritas, and she was out of town. So I don't
That
buy
was
this.
on a different day.
Just say, Richard, I need the day off.
Okay.
I don't pay you that much, Carol?
We'll talk about that after.
Yes. Enough said, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce our guest, Mr. Charles Trimley from Fresno, California, making it happen. And I want to let you know what he told me years ago, and it's come to pass and then some. Welcome to the show, Charles.
Richard, hey, nice to see you again. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. I want to talk about that shirt you're wearing there. I mean, that logo is just popping. It's just Fight Force. What is Fight Force all about?
Fight Force, that's my strength conditioning sports performance company, Fight Force Athletics. It's the banner under which I train all these professional boxers under.
So that's yours. That belongs to Charles Trimley.
Yes.
Okay, now we have it. It's all you now, because you worked for different companies before.
Mm-hmm.
You have different gyms and stuff, and we've been waiting, the long wait. We'll turn that monitor, this one over around just a little bit, yeah, or this one, whichever's fine. And now it's just you, your brand.
Yeah, I've always had my own, training company on the side.
Yes, you have.
Working with these guys, but it's at the point now where I'm doing it full time.
Good.
I don't own a gym any longer. There's no other distractions. I have so many fighters and so much time I need to dedicate to them that's my full time, single focus now.
So how does that program work? I mean, you don't own a gym, so you can go wherever you need to go, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm down at Robert Garcia Boxing Academy with, training several of the guys down there. I actually even have a partner now, Chepe from down there,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Great, one of the assistant boxing coaches, very knowledgeable. So we're working together with the guys, right? So when I'm not there, he's working with them. We've got so many fighters that we need to have two guys.
Very young. That's a future entrepreneur right there. I spoke to him. I interviewed him before, and you can just feel the intelligence that he has there. He's very smart.
Yeah, and he's being mentored by one of the greatest boxing
Absolutely.
coaches in the world.
Yes.
Probably the best boxing coach in the world right now, at the probably #1 boxing gym in the world, with so many young, up and coming young, stars and world champions. So he's had a great education there.
And you know why he's the best? You know why? It's simple, because he understands. He understands his fighters. He understands what they have, and he understands their levels, and he's truthful with them.
Yeah, it's just, being around this game for a long time, Robert Garcia is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
And he tries to change the training and the philosophy for each fighter based on their strengths and weaknesses. He's not single focused as far as, some coaches have a style and try to make the fighter mold to their style.
Yeah.
Where he will, work with the fighters, natural abilities,
Yeah.
Right.
and create the style that's going to work best for them for each individual fight as well.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you know what? You hit it right on the nail, man. Perfect. So you're affiliated with Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, because I see you there a lot. I don't know if we got any pictures to post, and you're working with Lopez, you're working with Ortiz. I mean, just your wisdom that you got. I mean, you're giving back. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's letting his hair grow out, huh?
That's That's Josecito Lopez,
Yeah.
the Riverside Rocky. He's fighting this Saturday,
Oh, okay.
the 28th, and I think he'll do tremendous.
Yeah.
This is our first camp training together. Excellent athlete. You see there, Jose Ramirez, obviously the dual world champion.
Yeah.
One of the pound for pound best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Trained him for 9 years. Of course, we have lots of great young fighters down there to work with. Just started working with Caballo down there.
Yeah.
The Dominican. He's got some big news, some big fight plans coming up soon. So you guys will see he's right there at the very top of the world in boxing, I think, coming up. And then Virgil Ortiz Jr., one of the young superstars, fastest rising guy in the boxing
Yes,
world right
he
now,
is.
probably.
Yes, he
That's
is.
great.
What's he, 21, 14-0, 14 knockouts? I think he's already stopped a couple of former world champions. So.
Yes, he has. That have never been stopped before.
Yeah, so.
That have never been stopped before. I want to talk to you about something, and I said we were going to talk about something that happened years ago. I remember because I would coach your daughter, Juliet, in soccer, and I've always liked it when it was your weekend. Because it was all good. I'd always ask, well, can she play on this day or this day? Okay, and I would ask Juliet, okay, you with mom or you? I don't want to get into all that. He goes, I'm with my dad. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. Okay, here's where we play. We got a tournament. This is what's happening. Because you always had her there on time, and she was there ready to play. Long story short, he said, Richard, there's this kid I'm going to be working with from Avenal. He just got on the Olympics. I'm going to be working with him. And you said this. He's going to be a world champion. And you said he's going to be a multiple world champion. And people say that, and I've heard that before. And like, oh, okay. I go, really? Where's this kid from? And do you remember that conversation we had? You told me you're working with him. And, I mean, the rest is history, man.
Yeah, I've been doing this. My first job as a trainer was 1986. So it's been a lot of years working, training athletes, fighting myself and competing and being a world champion athlete myself. I know what it takes to get that level. Mm-hmm. It's not just the talent. We have lots of guys who are very talented. We have lots of guys who work hard.
Yeah.
The best guy isn't the guy who works the hardest. That's not true. I have guys who I see who are never going to make it. They're just not talented. They're just not athletic. They'll kill themselves in the gym, right? But it's the combination.
Yeah.
Right? It's the desire, the work ethic, the talent, and being smart to understand, to put good people around you. Surround yourself with good people and listen to them, and be guided in each aspect. You have to be smart. We got great athletes out there. We can see a perfect example. Someone like Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He's the best, but he's a 3-year-old in a grown man's body, and he's had more success than he should have had probably by now, because he keeps getting chances.
That's a Jersey Shore playing wide receiver.
Exactly, and so what I saw from Jose Ramirez, besides all the physical attributes, the mental toughness and strength and desire.
Right.
Everybody has desire. I mean, there's a lot of guys, have more than others.
Yeah.
He has the most desire, the most heart, the hardest worker, but all those things don't always add up to being the best. You have to be smart, and the kid's really smart.
Right.
He's done it right early on. He gets it. He listens to people who know what they're doing, and he analyzes everything. He puts it together, and he's done it in a way that has allowed him to have the most success.
Right.
And it's working for him. And we've only seen the beginning. Carol, you talked about earlier that he had the best of both worlds and does, from leaving one Hall of Fame trainer, Freddie Roach, to
Right.
moving to Robert Garcia.
That's
Some
right.
people, Charles, will never ever have that trainer in their corner. And
That's
Carol,
right.
you talked about it earlier before we got on camera that he had the opportunity to work with both.
Right, which I think is phenomenal to have that opportunity. I mean, if you're surrounded with the right people, as well as with everything else that you just mentioned, having the heart and the desire and the drive and talent, also being surrounded by the right people, the right coaches, such as yourself and Robert Garcia and everybody else that plays a part of that.
Sure, it's not just the coach. It's the family. Everybody that is in your corner, has your back, is working for a single goal of your success,
Right.
and everybody being willing to listen to the people around them who know what they're talking about. You see a lot of boxing. You see dads who are coaching their sons, and you see them hold them back. You see them ruin their careers at times. You see them get in the way.
I see it now.
They think they know better. Yeah, they think they know
It's
better.
going on, and it's going on pretty close to us.
And, the athlete will never get where you can get because you have a dad or an uncle, whoever's running their career, a manager who doesn't deserve to be a manager, doesn't know what he's talking about,
Right.
who was a family friend or something, or gets the kid while he's young, gets him to sign a contract with this guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
And the kid doesn't get anywhere. You know, he's really talented. So you have to be smart and make the right decisions, surround yourself with the right people, have a great family behind you. And then, you know, I'm lucky to have the opportunity to you know, show my abilities with an athlete like Jose Ramirez, who, you know, he was going to be great no matter what. And hopefully I added a little bit more to that,
Sure.
but I got to show it with an athlete who, you know, getting to that level to help, you know, bring me along with him. And so now I have all these other guys who want to be the same place he is and see it as an opportunity for to get there by involving themselves with the same people he did, you know?
That's amazing.
Well, it's always good, Carol, when you contribute, you know, with your advice and your coaching style, but when you have the superior athlete to work with,
Right.
it makes it that much more fun, and it shines just a little brighter than everybody else.
No matter what, you have to get lucky. You can be the greatest coach in the world, but if you don't have the talent, you know, I can't take a slow guy and give him a gold medal in the 100 meters.
You can't.
And no matter how good I am, it's impossible.
Well, can you take a guy who has 2 torn ACLs? Can you have him do something where he's just not always hurting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that.
Put you in a wheelchair? No.
No, hey,
No, listen,
we'll make that
that's-
wheelchair move up and down.
Listen, that's the new thing now, is really what I'm getting into is corrective exercise and corrective measures, not just for athletes, but doing assessments and prescribing, you know, corrective exercise programs that will help to you know, improve muscle imbalances, improve injuries,
That's
and take everybody from the athlete whose his strength and endurance is minimized because of muscle imbalances, or is getting injured because of imbalances, to, you know, somebody, even seniors who want to have a more active lifestyle. So that's kind of the new thing that's really coming along, and I'm really trying to be at the forefront of doing that, you know?
Hey, you
That's
heard him,
great.
Carol. We're going to go down there. We're going to bring the whole camera crew down there, and we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what he can do, you know?
That's
'Cause
right.
I've been putting this off for a while now, and I'm not going to let these ACLs stop me. But I'm going to see if I can hang with Charles a little
Hey,
bit,
if
or at least his
anybody-
regimen.
If anybody can do it, it's going to be Charles.
Yeah, just don't, you know, come on, don't overdo me, man. Just, you know, a little at a
No,
time.
listen.
We use the approach, okay, I know what I'm working with. You know what I mean?
Listen, it's you know,
And I've said it before. I've said it jokingly before, but I'm serious now. We got to do this.
no, it's interesting because you know, I had the gym, you know, we had training different kinds of classes, you know, boxing and fitness type classes and high intensity interval trainings, and we had a lot of young people and athletes in there. But I would love when we would get, you know, 65-year-old grandmothers come in who said they could barely get out of a chair, and a year later they're doing burpees.
There it is, man.
And it's because you help them slowly to come along and improve their abilities. And people think, you know, I hear this all the time, well, I can't squat, my knees are bad, they're 36 years old. I'm going to say, well, I competed in powerlifting for 25 years. I've squatted 100,000 times more weight than you have, and I'm 50 years old, and my knees don't bother me. Your knees hurt because you're not doing it right, or you're not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
So you should and can exercise the rest of your life when you're shown how to do it properly and right, and you take it slow and you ease into it. You correct the problems that are causing the pain, which, you know, imbalances cause that. And, you know, we can do something about that for just about all populations.
There it is there. Carol, I'm going to take him up on that.
Yeah, do it.
You too.
Oh, I'm down.
Shoot, you're down on.
I'm down. I'll bring my 91-year-old pops with me,
Oh, that's
too.
right. Her dad puts
Yeah.
me in to shame, man.
Yeah.
91-year-old dad, and still loving the sport, still there. And
Yeah.
you know what? Most important, he's down with the fighter's voice.
That's good.
No, he is. He made a little promo video, too.
That's
We'll have to
funny.
show it later on.
Yeah, but speaking of your history from, you know, what you've started with, you were in powerlifting, I hear, right? That's what you
Yeah,
said?
I did.
For 25 years or
Charles
something?
was everywhere.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did quite a bit of, you know, competing in powerlifting. I was a 2009 world champion. Set some American and world records back in the day, and retired for 7 years, came back and won the state championship a couple times, and set another world record. I'm probably retired again for a couple years.
Come on, do it
That's
again. huh?
funny.
It just, you know, I travel back and forth between Central Valley and Southern California constantly. I'm all over the place. I'm always traveling on the road with the fighters. So if you're going to do good at anything, you have to be able to be consistent. And it's hard to, you know, to work out in a hotel gym at times and compete for myself, you know. So I put that aside for the other athletes. Now it's their turn, their time,
Aw.
you know. And maybe sometime I'll get a little more stable and be able to go back to it.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about your schedule, because I've been up there when you were at Wild Card. I've been up there when you were at Riverside. What's your schedule like? You drive there, come back, or you kind of? I think things are a little more comfortable now. You know, a couple little extra zeros on the champs check, but well earned and well deserved. So tell us a little bit about your schedule.
Well, we have, I have a place here and a place in Riverside. We stay with Jose. He has a place there, so we stay there. I'm down there pretty much every week, usually 4 days out of the week or so, and 3 days back here. You know, my children are here and stuff too. So, if I need to be down there longer, I'll be down there longer. There's a week here and there when no one's really in camp. Yeah. Sometimes I get a couple weeks that no one's really in camp, so I get a little break or take a vacation. But now with the number of fighters that we're building up down there, there's always going to be a couple guys in camp. But that's why it's so important for me to have a great, co-trainer in Chepe, who are, a partner, and able to, take on the programs and be me when I'm not there. Yeah. And I know that the fighters are in good hands when I'm not going to be there, and allows me to do some other things that we're working on here as well too.
No, it works really well. I mean, working with Robert's son. I say that because when I went and visited the gym, I mean, they have their time when it's real loose, when they're kind of preparing. But once the gym starts going and it's full force, it's 100% professionalism and concentration and focus. You got to come and visit sometime, Carol.
Yeah,
got to make some time and go down there.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
It's a great gym. Right now, especially if you're anywhere like 135 to 154, there's no better gym in the world to get your sparring and training.
Especially on Thursdays.
You look at you look at the guys at 140 and 147 there. They had that tournament that I think folded maybe now. Did it? The World Boxing Super Series. Isn't the championship not going to be in the?
I think so.
Like Gray and Taylor are fighting, but it's not part of the WBSS now or something.
You know what? I don't know what's going on.
I know guys weren't getting paid or something happened. I don't know. Well, I hear bits and pieces.
They did that, but then I can't speak for Regis. But the last thing I heard is things were in the works.
Back on now. I know they have a fight date. I think, but
the 26th, I believe, October.
Robert's gym could have put on a tournament as good as that, just in his gym alone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably at least 2 guys in 3 guys in Robert's gym that would have won that tournament.
Wow.
You got Mikey Garcia, of course.
Yes.
Could have won that tournament. Yeah. Jose Ramirez could win that tournament. And Virgil Ortiz could have won that tournament.
Right.
Potentially.
There's 3 right there.
If any one of those 3 guys entered that tournament, they probably would have won it.
I heard that sparring was just crazy with Ramirez and Ortiz.
If you're gonna think about the sparring there with Jose Ramirez, Virgil Ortiz, Josecito Lopez, who nearly knocked out Keith Thurman. I mean, he is a very, very good fighter. Yeah. He's right there at the top with those guys. Then you have some of the younger up-and-coming guys still, like Ruben Rodriguez. Yeah. I mean, there is some. And then even Lindolfo. That's right. Lindolfo, an Olympian from Mexico. Like, these are all really
good. What is he, 168s? 160?
No, he's 140.
140?
All these guys are 140, yeah.
Oh, I thought 147 at least.
No, he's a 140 guy, yeah. Okay. And so all these stud fighters in that weight class.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how.
Lots of competition.
We'll see what's going to happen in the future with all these guys.
Wow.
That's right.
And you know what? Iron sharpens iron, man.
That's
right. When you're around good people like that, and deep down they're a family, but there's still that competitive nature. You're not going to outwork me. But they feed off that. I bet they do.
They push each other. When you see sparring in that gym and guys going back and forth through a couple of the different rings now and sparring with each other back and forth, it's wars.
It is.
And Robert actually is really smart because he holds guys back who want to spar at times because he knows they're so competitive. You can't have a Jose Ramirez, right, who is as alpha personality in sparring, nicest guy in the world in the gym. Yeah. He never an attitude, wants to help everybody, cares to see everyone else succeed. But when the bell rings in sparring, there's no more alpha dog than Jose Ramirez, right? He's going to go there and he's going to work hard. If he's, if a guy's getting overwhelmed, he'll back off because he needs the guy to come back and throw so he can work his defense and stuff too. But if a guy comes in there who can push him, it's going to be a war. Yeah. And Virgil Ortiz is young, strong. He's gone up to 147 now. He's a big kid, and you see the power he has. Yeah. I mean, he's stopping everybody like they're children.
His dad's a nice guy too.
His dad's a great guy. His dad has pushed him and driven him, all these years and coached him, and it's a great combination of his father and Robert Garcia.
You didn't have to go next time, Carol. I reached out to Mikey, about the podcast again. We just got to set up a date when we're down there, shoot the podcast over there again.
That would be good.
You got to show up.
I'm down.
And make it happen.
For sure. Count me in on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Charles, you got this going for you. You got the Fight Force going for you. Training boxing. Is it safe to say that you are now married to this career? You're all in?
I mean, I've been that way for several years. I mean, I've had things on the side where we had our own boxing, MMA, fitness gym.
I remember that. But you put your personal goals aside, like competing, because I know you still like to compete because training camp was going, and I've seen you sacrifice a lot. But when you go to compete, you don't say nothing, you don't tell anybody, you just go.
I might post something afterwards, whatever. It's fun to.
After.
But I did that for so many years, and I'd like to go back. I do have to now at some point, because I did make a promise to Jose Ramirez that if he won a second world championship, I'd win a second world championship.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now I do have to
Good.
pick a year and train and get prepared for it, and
Oh, right on.
a couple tune-up competitions and go in there and win another world championship
There you go.
in the old guy divisions.
Oh, you got this, man.
That
But,
is so cool.
So I'm going to have to do it, and I won't fail at it. It's just I have to do it. It's just if he can do it, I can do it. I have to keep my promises, and
There you go.
And I always drive these athletes with even working out with them at times and saying if I can do it, you can do it at times, and so we have to do that.
That's great.
I mean, that's good coaching and also a good student.
Well, I can take a lesson from these guys too. There might be guys who are 20 years old, and I might be 50, but when I see some of the dedication and heart that they put into it, it reminds me of what I need to do in any goal in life. Not just athletic,
Absolutely. Hey, I know the fans are chipping in. Go ahead. Let them know.
Do you also train other types of athletes, such as football players?
I've
NBA
done a lot of
players?
that. Yeah, I trained professional football players, basketball players, baseball players, NFL Combine, MMA. I've done all that, but I don't have much time outside the boxing world now because it's grown to that point.
Right.
And since I sort of specialized in that because I was a martial artist and an MMA fighter myself,
Oh, that's cool.
it just sort of became my specialty. So
okay.
if another athlete came to me, I probably would help them find somebody more appropriate for them that has the
Okay.
time and would specialize in what they do.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. And when people train with you, you were mentioning that you have like an assessment that you do. I mean, what is involved? I understand that you actually take blood work.
Yeah, I like to
you
get-
get blood work taken for them.
Yeah. One of the things we like to do is get blood panel done, because it's all about doing things healthy, right? And it always sort of was crazy to me that I saw some of these young fighters getting signed to contracts and getting signing bonuses, and I don't think they even get a physical. I mean, they don't even require a physical.
Wow.
And sometimes I'm thinking to myself, this is
Guys,
crazy.
yeah.
So can you know how much the NFL teams spend at the combine to test each of these players?
That's true.
And you got a guy who's going to make more money potentially than the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
A lot of fighters make more. A lot of fighters make more in one fight than he makes in a year
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Right, that's
Right?
true.
So, but how much money do they spend to test him and to
True.
to make sure that everything about him is as good as it could be?
Exactly.
Just not on the surface,
And
just
safe,
not on
and
the
safe,
surface.
safe
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, so we need to know. We don't know if a kid might have a heart condition, might have some kind of a problem. We need to see their nutrient deficiencies.
Deficiencies,
Are they
yeah.
low in iron? Do we need to address that in their diet?
Yeah.
There's so many little things. Hormone problems.
Right.
I got athletes that I'll send for blood work that are under 30 years old who are suffering from low testosterone. It comes from the high intensity training and not eating right.
Oh,
Because they think they're eating right, but there's, probably more so than training, there's more bad information about nutrition than anything else.
I know I watch your posts sometimes. It's like a trick question. Okay, and you'll say something like, is milk good for you? And you'll just kind of leave it. And I want to say some things, but I go, nah, man. I'm not going to let Charles put me on blast and just define every single thing that I'm saying, and just break it all down. But I like those. I do watch those. And see, that's something you should do because they're going to listen to what you're saying because
True.
you are the walking product.
Well, I try to inform people based on the best information I have from the studying I've done my entire lifetime. And one of the things that's driven me to go back to school and get my PhD now, in exercise physiology, health, and human performance. So that finally, the people who argue with me
Yeah.
and say and disagree,
Oh, okay, there they are.
I can say, I'm a doctor. Be quiet.
there you go.
Exactly.
There you
Now
go.
you have to listen to me.
Exactly.
I have the highest level of education in the world.
And say,
There
while
you go,
we're having
good.
this conversation, let me write you a prescription.
No, but it's look. There's more than one right way to eat and train. There's not one best thing for everybody.
Right.
Just like no medication works for everybody. There's lots of ways. So there's a science to fitness, there's a science to training and nutrition, but there's an art to applying it to the individual.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of years of experience and an artistic way of thinking to take that information and see how it's going to apply differently to each athlete. No two athletes I have train the same.
Right.
There's something different about them. One person needs to concentrate more on this because they have this weakness or they have this imbalance.
Yeah.
Nutrition is going to differ based on the needs because one person have, their hormone profile is great. Somebody else has low testosterone. They're 24 years old. Wow. So we need to address that, and it's probably going to be addressed in their diet.
Yeah. So besides the promise that you made, or was it a promise or a bet with Jose Ramirez? Kind of slash both?
Oh, no, promises.
Okay. But besides that, and going back to school, there has to be something out there that's even kind of far-fetched, but you're just going to say, hell, that I'm going to go for it. What drives you?
My kids, really. I mean,
That's right.
That's great.
It's my daughters who are doing pretty well in life right now. I'm very proud of them, very happy,
Yes, sir.
and trying to help them. And me going back to school at this age,
Yeah.
and trying to encourage them to continue education. One daughter, he works for the biggest lawyer in the state. She's a paralegal, wants to become an attorney.
Awesome.
My other daughter wants to be a teacher, and then I want to see them, pursue greater endeavors and help them, guide them to, it's success is however you decide to measure it.
Sure. Yes, it is.
I don't care if you work minimum wage job and you're happy as hell, then you're successful. But and it's not just about money either.
No,
but really
it's not.
about following some kind of a path that is exciting for you, is interesting for you, that fulfills you. And they have some things that fulfill them, so I want to help guide them towards that.
That's great.
Dr. Trimley.
I know,
We'll
that
see.
sounds
Dr.
great.
Trimley.
That really
You know what?
sounds
Okay,
good.
you know what? Boom. I'm going to start calling you Doc. From now on, KP, we'll put it when he's
can't
on
do
the
it.
show,
You can't
we'll
do
put
it.
Doc.
You can't do it because I have to earn that.
Well, why?
And if-
Hey,
no,
but I'll call you anything.
Because
I
here's
called
the-
you worse than that.
I understand. but here's the thing. That's a hard goal. I mean, that's a very
It
difficult
is.
thing for a guy
It is.
who hadn't been in school in 30 years to go back and talk about academic writing.
That's true.
Yeah, you didn't just
That's
just
not
come
I've
out
done
of
that
the
30
classroom.
years,
Yeah.
So I had to do a lot of prep work to
Yeah.
prepare myself for that level.
Right.
And proud to say I have a 3.9 GPA, so I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, congratulations.
But it's going to, next, 2.5 years, whatever it is, I finish this. I'll proudly take that title, but like anything else, I'm not a United World Champion to earn it. So I'm going to try my hardest
Future
to earn that
doctor.
title.
Future doctor.
Yes,
And
right.
you know what? And when you get it,
Doctor in the making.
Hey, when you do it, you'll come on the show, and by then we'll be where we need to be. That's our goal. Everybody has goals. I mean, the goal that I have is, I love Fresno. I appreciate it, but I'm gonna take Fresno with me. I plan on going to the highest level possible, worldwide, global. And if you don't reach for it, if it doesn't exist, then why should you wake up in the morning and try to stay driven? And this is where I see it going. So just like you
Yeah.
said yourself.
You have to have a goal, but you have to believe in that goal.
Absolutely.
You have to address that goal as if it's already here. So you have to make the future plans. You have to
Right.
know what you're going to do with it when you get there.
True.
A great example, I have a great story. I always wanted to open my own gym, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, fitness, strength conditioning, a real cool, hardcore, fun training center, but have it for everyone. I knew where I wanted it to be at. I used to look at buildings that were vacant, I had no, financial backing, I had no idea how it would happen. I made the plans. I knew I had business plans. I had a schedule of classes. I knew how many coaches. I knew what equipment I needed. I would call on buildings as if I had the funding right there in my hands to do it. No idea how it was ever going to happen. I'm training a bunch of athletes, and I'm also running this huge gym. I'm working 70 hours a week.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, I just knew my heart, that's what I want, and somehow it's going to happen. I bumped into a guy with the same idea who had the backing and experience. Within 2 weeks, we had a deal on the books, and we started doing it.
Oh wow.
Bumped into it by accident. So because I believed in it, I planned it. I wanted it so much that I spent time on it.
Yeah.
I already knew it was going to happen.
It was meant to
And
be.
I told my kids I'm going to do this.
You were giving it life.
Right.
So the door, then the door will open for you. I really believe that. So you have to have a vision on what you want. Make plans for it. Write it down. Design the plans.
Absolutely.
Know where your studio is going to be in LA if that's what you want. Whatever it is. Know how you're going to reach out. Know how you're going to grow it. You don't know how you're going to get there, maybe.
Yeah.
But the
That's
doors
the
will
ultimate.
open if you believe it's going to happen. You have to know it's going to happen.
I agree with you. I mean, I've said it numerous times on the show. First of all, I mean, I believe in divine intervention. That's how you ran into that gentleman. And we call things if they're not as if they are, just like the Bible says. So we give it life, and you did. And you know the rest is history when it comes to that.
So
and
in terms of
and where
speaking
your
into
faith at.
existence.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you have
Yes.
to do that.
Absolutely. Speaking of speaking into existence, what are your goals, Carol? I never asked you, Miss Co-host.
I have a lot of goals. I just want to be great at what I do. I just want to be great at what I do, being a good coach, being a good cut woman, and I have a lot of years ahead of me still, you know. People say, "Oh, you're the greatest." It's like, no, you know, I have a lot of years ahead of me, and I'm willing to put in the work and get there. Yeah.
While you're doing it, you're off to a great start. I mean, you're doing it. You're involved in doing something that you love and where your heart's at. Just like Charles, you wake up every morning and you love what you do. Not many people do that.
That's right.
Charles, they'll
That's right.
sacrifice money and not be happy, and you seem to be happy.
Look, I mean, when you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's
Is
right.
that the saying?
Yes,
that is the saying.
I agree.
I always say you have to be good, right? So I think I'm good at what I do, but you have to be very lucky.
Yeah.
You don't get there without luck, and luck favors the prepared, of course, but you have to, there's luck involved. You have to see the opening, you can't be afraid to take it, you have to take a chance on yourself.
That's right.
And you have to get lucky. There's guys, who, you know, look at like these singing shows. There's people go on there, they're better than the professional singers, they're amazing. Just never had a chance. No one ever gave them
Right.
an opportunity.
That's
They didn't
very
went to the right
true.
place, the right time, they didn't meet the right person.
That's very true.
And so, no matter what, I always say, I didn't get here where I'm at by myself.
Yeah.
I got here with luck, with favor from whoever, a higher power, our creator, said, I'm going to give you this opportunity. Thought I deserved it for whatever reason, put the right people on my path, put me in the right road
That's
to find
great.
it. And so, it's not all by your own doing, you know? So,
Very true.
You know, I would like to, for you to work. I like to network with people, man. But I would love you to see if you can work with LeVar Johnson, man. Get him agile. I mean, he has that
yeah, I
crazy
talked to him
power.
before. I talked to him
Yeah,
before.
but I can see it now because he has a different hunger in him. He has a hunger that he wants to prove people wrong, and he did. But there's still a journey that he's on.
he's got, you know, being around him a little bit and seeing things and knowing some people around him, he's one of those guys who I think everybody has a little bit of fear of, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks scary, right? I mean, might be able to outrun him. I don't know. But he's one of those guys that you know has a different level of just toughness, you know. I think. And so, yeah, he has lots of opportunities. You know.
Yeah, he does. He has a different pedigree, and I want to congratulate him, LeVar Johnson, on your 27-second knockout. There you are, right there. Boom!
Yeah, that guy, man, that guy's an animal.
He made it happen. Yeah, he made it happen there.
So now listen, we gotta get Rick involved with him, but not in fighting.
Yeah.
That he'd play some good roles in TV movies.
Oh, yeah.
KP, we've been
You
saying
don't
that
think
over
that he
and
would
over
be
again.
good
Yes,
as the
he would.
enforcer? Some thug in these movies. Oh my God, he'd be great.
Right.
Yeah,
He'd
he
be
would.
great at that.
A tough guy or a bad guy, even.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah.
Or,
Actually,
no,
we were
look,
talking.
think about him opposite The Rock.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be the great thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Opposite
you
The
did
Rock.
say that.
Opposite The Rock. Yeah.
KP said he was going to call his buddies in Hollywood and get him some roles.
mean-
Actually, they were talking after a show, but yeah,
He
you,
should.
you can see him.
He should.
But see, here's the thing, and I'm going to go on it right now. LeVar Johnson, Valor heavyweight champion of the world, / full-time bodyguard for Jose Ramirez. Boom. In charge. I can see it. Wherever Jose goes, LeVar goes.
I think LeVar should have his own career, make his building his
Yeah.
own name because
His own
not
brand.
only is he a really good athlete,
Yeah.
and a really good fighter, but
That's right.
I mean the guy's got
He's very smart.
his look is he's actually a really nice guy when I've been around him. He's
Yeah.
actually a nice guy, but so I see that guy in Hollywood, man. Look, he has a great look. He's this huge guy, the tattoos, the look. He could be a great in movies, and that's a guy who can be in the Expandables 19, whatever they have.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know which one.
Exactly.
funny.
We did a one-on-one
He's pushing
interview.
Stallone in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's how it's
Oh,
done.
By then,
yeah.
you know, Stallone.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. They're all in the wheelchairs, except LeVar, right? We did a one-on-one interview, and we're adding some content to it. But when he's sitting right in front of me, I mean, you just see this mammoth of a man.
Yeah.
Knowing that anytime he can go crush you if you wanted to. If you
Yeah.
ask the wrong question. You know what I mean?
He's not
I'm
the guy-
literally holding my hand down because I had to go there and ask a couple questions that I even wasn't even comfortable with, and my left hand kept moving, and I actually had to hold it like this.
Oh, that's funny.
But a lot of
no, he's
times
a
these
nice
guys
guy.
are kind of gentle giants too. You know, I mean, they're soft spoken sometimes. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to work with him because he's got so much potential. But
Yeah.
it's Rick. Get him,
Yeah.
get him in the movies, Rick.
You know what? Okay, maybe this will happen then because I'll try to do that, but I don't have Rick's phone number because he changed it and didn't give it to me, and he stopped following me. So I just go outside and hey, Rick, it's me. Hey man, can you imagine if Rick had the platform, made some phone calls to get the Fighter's Voice out there? That opportunity.
That would be
Yeah.
really
Rick's probably
great.
saying, "Man, I'm only one person here, man." But no, I mean, it is.
He's such a busy guy, though, too.
Yeah, but you can make
I know.
time. You
I
can
know.
make time. Charles is busy. Shoot, he's training
Yeah.
world
Well,
champions,
that's
and
true.
he's got today.
Yeah.
We've got a couple. Actually, me and Rick have got a couple big things in the works here in Fresno.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe get you involved and do some stuff with that if we can too. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Charles has always had my back. Charles, let Carol know how I met you. And I've asked you to tell the story before.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter played on his soccer team with his daughter. His daughter and my daughter were best friends. So
Yeah.
His daughter would spend the night at my house and
Yeah.
things like that. They grew up
Yeah.
together.
That's
and
cool.
my daughter just told me they've recently been talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
which
little
is
bit.
good.
So-
That's
So
good.
it's soccer. I don't know. The kids are 6 years old or something like that.
I thought they were a little older.
Maybe
But I don't know.
They were little, right?
Yeah,
They were
they were
They were
little.
maybe 8. So usually, soccer, especially girls soccer, gets pretty heated. More
Yeah.
so than the boys, I think. I don't know why.
It is.
And Richard's daughter and my daughter were both, many times in the soccer field had channeled their inner MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Inside, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I already see where
my
it's
daughters have
going.
both been down in the dirt, brawling with people.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think our daughters combined hold the record for red cards in a career.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
funny.
But Richard came up to me during the game and said, "Hey, after the game, I need you to have my back. Some parents on the team want to jump me."
Oh, no.
And I just thought to myself, how could a coaching 8-year-olds get the parents that pissed off? Right? These little
Yeah.
kids,
Right.
But yeah, he knows my background in martial arts and close quarter combat instructor and stuff. So he knows I'll step in there and throw down with him if I have to.
I remember you said,
That's
said,
funny.
yeah, he go, where they at? I remember you said, yeah. He goes, yeah, where they at? So that was cool, man. And yeah, I also respected that.
Oh,
that
that's
went down.
crazy,
That went
though.
down pretty good.
At just like little elementary school
it
kids,
happens, man. It does.
The parents sometimes are, the
crazy.
ones that cause the fights that go on,
The parents are bad.
They are, so.
And it's
crazy.
the moms more than dads.
Oh, is it?
In
Oh,
soccer,
yeah.
in girls soccer.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
The moms are crazy and the dads are like shaking their head like, oh my God.
Oh, they're trying to walk away and they're drinking out of that foam cup, So no one can take. Carol, I got to ask you this.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Charles this. Who
Yes.
do you got, Regis or Josh Taylor?
Regis.
Why?
I like his style. Yeah, I like his style. I dig Regis. We had him on the show about 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to take it.
How about you, Charles? Who do you got?
I mean, that's a 50-50 toss-up. I look at Taylor, and he didn't do great against Postal.
Yeah.
But that's one fight. You can have a bad fight. That was a pretty close fight other than the knockdown. Of course, he got big scoring in his home country, but that's probably an even fight other than the knockdown. But I think, the bigger fighter with a little bit of reach, he might be able to do something. We saw Regis in his last fight, too. Back up and fight off, back up into the ropes and come off the ropes and stuff, which he hasn't normally done. So he showed a little different style against a hard hitting fighter coming forward. Maybe not that skilled of a guy he fought, but I think he has to kind of close the distance on those guys, especially a guy like Taylor. He's going to have to kind of jump in. I think he can get caught. He leaves himself open. He gets hit a lot when he comes in like that. If a guy's not afraid to get hit by him, he'll get hit a lot. And so if Taylor has, not tremendous power, but he's a very good fighter, he might catch him a couple times coming in and slow him down a little bit there, and that might add up.
True.
So who do you have winning that fight?
I mean, if I had to bet money, I'd probably bet Regis. I only know that he's the harder hitting fighter, and he's a tough fighter. I haven't seen him in trouble before.
Yeah.
Where I think Postal put Taylor in trouble a little bit.
Yeah. those some concern there, a little
So
adversity.
Posto's a very experienced fighter, but he was coming off a long layoff, only having one fight, having an injury, older guy, and he still gave Taylor trouble.
Right.
Even going across the world to fight him. So, maybe just on the fact that I've seen him in trouble in a fight. I haven't seen Regis in trouble in a fight.
Who do you have this weekend? And then I want to ask you the same, Carol. Who do you have, Spence, or do you have Sean Porter?
I'm gonna. If I was betting money, I'd say Spence. Porter's my sympathetic favorite in that
Yeah.
fight. I like him a little bit.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's a nice guy. He seems really, really good guy. They're both really good guys. I think they're
Tough
both,
guy.
They're both really good guys. Yeah, both really good guys. It's one of those fights where you actually don't want either guy to lose because
Yeah.
both nice guys, both good guys.
Yeah.
I think that whoever wins, hold on because Virgil Ortiz is coming for you.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I can see that happening too. What's your take on that, Carol?
I'm going to go with Spence. My personal favorite, though, is also Porter. But at the same time, I still think that, Spence is going to, if he keeps him, uses his jab and keeps him at a distance, he's going to be able to outbox him. Spence has definitely got the distance, the reach and everything. So, and the height advantage. So, I think he's gonna take it.
I remember a while back, they were saying boxing was dead. Boxing is far from being dead.
Yeah,
Right.
boxing, the UFC came on so strong, I think it did pull some fans away from boxing.
Sure,
more.
it did.
But then the UFC got to the point where what's great about it also hurt it,
Yeah.
that, anyone can win at any time. Like you
Right.
can see an upset you see, Diaz come in on 8 days' notice and beat an unbeatable fighter.
Right.
And so if you can't keep guys as champion long enough to build a superstar status, right? So who's a superstar in MMA? It was McGregor and Rousey, and then they're gone for the most part, right? So,
True.
to build a superstar like you have in boxing, like a Canelo, like Pacquiao, like Mayweather, like Canelo, like these guys, and build the fan base up so big that when they fight, the whole world watches.
Right.
And you only had a couple people like that in MMA. You used to have Randy Couture and Chuck
Yep.
Liddell, and these guys would be champion for a while. No one stays champion long enough to build up a huge following.
True.
And that's great about the sport, but it also hurts a little bit in the numbers, I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Longevity as a champion. I got to ask you this too, and I'm glad you brought that up. How would you put the weight on Garnelo to face the Crusher?
Oh boy,
Is that too much weight for you? Would you advise that, or do you think,
I mean, look, I think
Kovalev, that's the right pick for him?
I think it's who's he gonna fight?
Yeah.
You got to have big fights for him, and what's the challenge for him? It's no different than Mikey going up to fight Spence, right? Mikey's not a big guy.
No.
He's not a big guy at all. I mean, Mikey's not big for 140. And but if you want to challenge yourself and you want to be truly great, and you want to beat the best people out there, you want to go up and wait and take belts. And losing that fight to Spence didn't hurt Mikey at all. It doesn't
No.
affect his career at all.
No.
Who would expect a guy who's really a 135-pound fighter to go up there and fight a big 147-pound fighter?
Yes, very big.
You know?
He looked like a middleweight that night.
He did,
And-
didn't he?
Yes.
Because and so compared to the smaller fighter, he looked really big, and so that's not going to hurt it. And so it also doesn't really hurt Canelo to take this chance. It's good for him. It shows that he's willing to fight the toughest guys out there, go up and wait for the challenge. I mean, his contract is set. He's making $365 million, whatever it is, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
He has nothing to lose, and I wouldn't get him overly big because he's not used to carrying that weight. If you had, I'd want 5 months.
Exactly.
You know?
And I was about to tell you that.
Yeah.
That's right around the corner, Carol. How would you advise him to put if you had 5 months, how would you put the weight on him as opposed to
I mean,
now? what's he
very
gonna-
slowly, so his condition could come along with the weight.
Oh, that's great.
Right, very slowly. And we would look at, you can gain weight, but not gain strength with that weight. Mm-hmm. Right. So gaining muscle and gaining strength are two different things. One's a physiological adaptation. One is a neurological adaptation. Mm-hmm. So we have to make sure that we are gaining strength and power with that weight, not just putting on more muscle.
You know what? Back in the day, they did it right, Carol. Michael Spinks, when he moved up to heavyweight, skip cruiserweight, but he was working with the weights, and he moved up and took on Larry Holmes. Evander Holyfield, when he moved up to heavyweight, he was only 202 pounds, and
That's
then
right.
gradually went to 212, and then 218, 215, etc. But they put it on gradually.
Sure.
They didn't just come and put
A
it
guy
on.
to jump up in weight class for one fight, it's going to be very, very difficult
Right.
to add quality weight. It takes time. And, you know, more or less, he's going to say, I'm just not going to cut much. You know?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to cut,
Yeah.
probably not going to have to cut weight. It's more like that. But that just means, you're in that little bit of higher body fat when you're, out of camp type, scenario. So he still might be a little bit better not being too big
Yeah.
and just keeping his speed and his conditioning.
I mean, Sugar Ray would always do that. He didn't always move up to 175. He'd come up to like 172 or something close to that so he can stay agile. He
Gradual.
didn't want to just put weight on. And I did leave one out. Tommy Hearns, when he moved up from 154s to take on Dennis Andres at 175.
Yeah.
So
It's different
you
between-
boxing scholars out there, you thought you were going to catch me slipping on. It just doesn't. It just doesn't happen.
Boxing, if it was MMA, weight is more important because you're laying on a guy, right? You're grappling,
True.
you're pushing a guy up against the cage, you're on top, laying on top of him. And even 5 extra pounds can add up over the course of those rounds. 5-pound difference in boxing is not that significant, right? It really isn't. I mean, you're not using your body weight. You clinch some, you push guys around some. It's not as significant, though,
Carol, what's your take? And then I'm going to ask Charles, what's your take on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. coming back? I saw some B-roll of him. He looks tremendous. He looks in tremendous shape.
Yeah, he looks like he's actually been training hard, not like he has in the past, but recently he looks like he's been training really hard. So I'm actually impressed.
With those side habits?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
with the side habits on the side.
It works for Diaz.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, it does.
So what's your take on him? Do you think he can make him run?
I think so. Actually, I'm actually a little bit more confident now that I see the conditioning that he's been doing and where he's at right now. I think I can give it to him this time. Last time, no. Time before that, no. So I'm pretty impressed to see how far he's come along in a short time.
What's your take on that, Charles?
I'm always going to be cautious to say we cannot judge guys' conditioning by how he looks
Yeah.
True.
because, some guys out there on meth that look pretty shredded.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's let's think about the fight with Andy Reese and
Yes.
coming in. Everyone's saying
Okay.
he's
Very
not in
good
shape,
analogy.
right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't look in shape at all. He was pretty fast and pretty sharp and pretty strong
Right.
and pretty, And the guy who looked in shape looked
Yes.
pretty tired from when he got hit. Got tired and worn out and didn't want to come out of the corner. Mm-hmm. Right. So a bodybuilder can look good. But can they run a mile and do 10 pull-ups? Maybe, probably not, right? Because that's not conditioning.
Yeah, they need that.
That's how your body
oxygen.
looks is different, right? So if I'm just a guy who's been an athlete my whole life, and I just eat healthy, I'm going to get lean, look good, I'm going to have some abs, doesn't mean I'm in shape. Doesn't
Right.
mean my muscular endurance, my cardiorespiratory conditioning, my strength is up. So I always say caution, how a guy looks doesn't make that much of a difference. So it's hard to tell if he's actually in condition.
Yeah.
Right.
Or he's got rid of bad habits, started eating better, and he's, so he just looks better. And those are two different things.
Right.
Yeah, the last time he was on HBO, he was in his calzones eating cereal. Remember that? When he was getting ready to fight. Who was he going to fight that time?
I forgot who he was fighting. but I
Martinez, Sergio
Was it
Martinez.
Ser-
Yeah,
that's
Sergio
right.
Martinez.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. He was sitting there with the bowl of cereal. It was
No, and in his
crazy.
calzones, you
I-
saw
yeah,
that
I saw
because he
that.
paused it and stuff.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think he knew the cameras were on him.
It didn't look like it was actually.
No.
Somebody else was just videoing it or something.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was somebody that was in charge of that.
Uh-huh.
Who's your top 5 right now? Oh, okay, you don't even got to put them in order. Your top 5 in the boxing world.
Well, I have to put Jose Ramirez in there.
Yeah, because if you go put them in
Two
order,
belts.
man, it's
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, you can argue with
Um,
anyone.
Jose Ramirez, because he's got the 2 belts. He's been dominant. He's and because I know him, I know what he's capable of, and I see the sparring against 60 rounds against Pacquiao. I see sparring all the top guys, and I
was
see
gonna ask you about that,
how
too.
dominant he is against everybody. I know what he has the capability of doing. I know who he really is. Right. I put Lomachenko. I put Crawford. I put Canelo. I put Mikey.
Those are good picks.
Yeah. Some, I see a lot of things saying, Lomachenko and Crawford. I'm like, what about Canelo?
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, you can't dismiss him because he's not with the same company.
Well,
You
I mean,
can't. Yeah.
What do you mean? He's fought everybody he could fight.
exactly.
You can't help who's left over.
Exactly.
Right? And he only lost to Mayweather several years ago, and he's a lot better now than he was then. And I mean, Mayweather practices, great art of evasion, and he's just the greatest at it, and he's going to win
He
those
is.
rounds by a little bit, but he's the greatest because he all he does is win, baby.
Yeah,
That's
he's
all that
smart.
matters.
That's it. That's it. I want to add some to that in a few. So who's your top 5?
I'd like to say, I definitely will say Canelo. I do like Lomachenko as well. Spence, Crawford. I don't know. Did you say Crawford?
Yep.
He didn't say Spence.
Okay, he didn't say Spence.
Yeah.
Okay, Spence. I'm gonna say I like Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I'm going up to.
Yeah,
heavy.
no, no,
I'm not
that's a-
staying
that's a good
within
one.
that
No,
range.
no, it
I just
is.
wanted to add that.
That's a
Sorry.
good one. You're right. That's a good.
Because at any given time when he's fighting, he can close the show.
Yeah,
that
no doubt.
right now.
He's the scariest guy.
Exactly. That right now, that right hand is the scariest weapon in boxing. He reminds me of
Mm-hmm.
a heavyweight Tommy Hearns. He just fully commits to it. That right hand, he gives it everything down to his toes, and he can
I
end
just
the
wish
night in one
I
punch.
just wish he wasn't as wild as he is. If he just
He's Wilder. What do you want?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, it's working for
Till this day.
Yeah,
Till this day.
That's,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah,
It's working for
that's
him.
funny.
He's done great.
It is working for him. I got to ask you this, man. And I don't know if you can share it on camera, but I'm gonna get the answer, even if it's after the show. How was that sparring session with Manny Pacquiao and Jose Ramirez?
Oh,
I mean, I was in the Philippines for 4 or 5 weeks,
wow.
and as they trained together and trained Jose, and what an education to watch Freddie Roach train Manny Pacquiao and Jose Ramirez every single day, And what an education I have in the gym every day watching Robert train all these guys. Man, what I've learned about boxing is incredible from those two guys, right?
Yes.
No doubt.
It's you got a much younger Jose Ramirez who's much better now.
Stronger too.
Much better, stronger now, obviously, much more experienced. That was 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And Pacquiao was obviously maybe even a little younger, a little better then, just because of age. And although he looks tremendous still,
Right.
it was great. Many people commented that was better than most World Championship fights. I heard comments that you could sell tickets to it, and people would pay to watch it. It was that good. And it wasn't just two guys going at it. It was skill.
Right.
And what you saw in Jose's last fight, where he was a little more in and out, I mean, for Jose Ramirez to win the battle of jabs against a guy with an 80-inch reach,
Yeah.
Jose hasn't fought too many fights where he always boxed, but you know what I mean, where he kept distance and he moved in and moved out and moved in. And he did that more in his last fight because that's what it was needed to win in that scenario with that fighter. But that's what I saw against Pacquiao back in the day. And he remarked to me when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's something different. He's like, oh yeah, I can do that whenever I want. A lot of times with the guys I'm fighting, that's not the best. I'm just going to walk them down and beat them up.
Right.
And that's, if I can do that, that's what I'm going to do. It's always the best if I can do that. But he's told me, oh yeah, I can do that. I can box like that. You haven't seen it. Like, I have that skill. I can do that when I need to.
Yeah,
and then
when
he
he
went in and
needs
did it
to.
in this last fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. I mean, he was sharp. In and out, in and out, in and out, making a guy miss. Feint, come in, make a guy miss, and hit him, and then back out again and make him miss. And, of course, there's no doubt Pacquiao did tremendous as well. But it was, people were a little surprised. People there, how well Jose Ramirez did against Manny. Being Manny still probably at his best, what people thought, and Jose being a young guy, up and coming, not that much experience yet. And he showed that he can adapt to these fighters.
Right.
And that's why when people talk about Jose Ramirez fighting Regis or someone, and that's who everyone expects it to be, and Regis talks a lot, and it's all to make the fight happen. He's a good guy, been around him a little
He's a
bit.
good guy.
He seems like a good guy. Rick and him have the best battles on Instagram.
They do.
And they even battle in person like that.
Oh,
They even
wow.
battle in person. It's funny.
Wow.
But I think there's mutual respect because everybody knows what the goal
Yeah.
is. But Regis will not understand the different facets that Jose Ramirez can bring. Regis
Yeah.
showed a little bit different in his last fight, but Regis still has to get hit to close the distance. He has no choice. He's like he doesn't have much reach, and but he seems to be tough enough to take those punches, take those shots coming in, and then deliver his own that makes you shell up and not want to fight anymore.
He's a student of the game.
But people don't understand that Jose Ramirez, first of all, he's never felt a punch. He's never been stunned. He's never been hurt. He's never been wobbled. Big, hard-hitting guys like Amir Imam and people saying how Hooker has a monster right hand. When they have connected a clean shot on Jose, he walks right through it like it's a pillow fight and lays serious leather on you.
That's right.
I'm going to talk to you about something. Jose's, I believe, I'm not sure if it was his first fight at the I believe it was his first fight at the Save Mart Center. That first round, Charles, Jose took a left hook. We wouldn't be talking right now about him, and ate it.
Yeah.
Clean, right here on the freaking button. And Jose ate it like a cupcake. And just kept going. No, when I saw it, nobody here knows what I just saw. That could have ended everything. There would be no fight for the water or fight for the
earlier
this.
on-
Right.
But
early on in your career, knocked out, yeah.
yes, he ate it.
He could
and
take a
kept
punch
pushing and
then.
said, "Okay,
Yeah.
There's
let's
something
go."
about this guy.
No, he has whiskers, man.
There's something about this guy, and everything about him is just strong, right? And in a fight with Amir Imam, there's a couple times Amir Imam's a very good fighter. Amir Imam fought anybody but Jose Ramirez, he'd be a world champion.
Yeah.
He was good enough to beat most guys in the world in that weight class. And
Good right hand.
I mean, Jose caught an uppercut, snapped his head back. Before his head even came back forward, he was already throwing an overhand right, hitting Imam, putting him into the ropes and beating him up. And, people said very few people in the boxing world would take that punch. And what I'm so impressed with is that kind of toughness, man. He's a robot when it comes to that. And Paulie Malignaggi said that, he was talking about Conor McGregor when he sparred him. He said, how hard does McGregor hit? He says, McGregor hits hard, but he doesn't hit Amir Imam hard. He used him as the example of a guy who's a monster puncher.
Right.
And so I know that there's nobody else out there in the division that hits any harder than Amir Imam.
Wow.
Not Regis, not Taylor. So if they think they can hurt Jose, they rely on that a lot. Well, Regis does rely on the ability he can take a punch, but you can't take his. Well, we know that Ramirez can take his. I guarantee you he can take that.
Yes, he can.
And so it's going to be a battle of attrition. And you see, Ramirez not only hits like a truck, but he's relentless.
That's true. He is
And
relentless.
if a guy can
Lets him
push,
go.
if
He
a
keeps
guy,
coming.
Yeah,
no
he
one's
does.
been able to really push a guy like Regis because they start to be scared of throwing.
Best punch Regis took was after the bell.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah, he did. He right that late
I
shot.
remember, yes.
Yeah.
And his buddy, and his buddy at Big Five when he went around the corner when they were boxing. Because he got Regis right when he stepped out because there was like some gloves in the way or something
Yeah.
that were hanging on the at Big Five, and his buddy caught him.
But I've never seen Regis,
That's funny.
hurt by a punch either. So
No,
I mean,
no.
he's a very tough guy. And he's
very,
a very
very,
good guy.
very confident. Very
Very
confident.
I had
confident.
And
nothing but
believes in
respect for
himself.
him.
Absolutely.
But I just think it's going to be this thing where, okay, the pace that Jose can push,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in the world who can stay at that pace. The best conditioned guys in the world, even in sparring, don't say that. Jose will spar 14 rounds with 4 different opponents. These are not just guys coming. These are not journeymen.
No.
These are not guys. These are not sparring partners. These are contenders he's sparring with. These
Wow.
are elite fighters. 14 rounds, 4 different opponents. Right? He did 12, 4 different opponents, and then wanted to do 2 more with Virgil Ortiz afterwards.
Oh, my God. Afterwards?
And walks. Then he does 14 rounds.
Yeah.
5 different guys, all elite guys.
Right.
And I mean, it's hard work of those guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gets out of the ring, and Robert Garcia looks to me and goes, "Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, yeah,
Are
go
we allowed
ahead.
to swear?"
Yeah.
Says, "Fuck, Ramirez isn't even tired." Like, he looks at me like, shakes his head like, "How in the fuck is he not tired?"
That sounds like
He's like,
Robert.
"I don't get it. Like, I've never seen something like that. I've never seen a guy who can go, like, he's not even tired. He's not even
Right.
breathing hard. Like, that's not possible." He's never seen it. That's what he said.
It's like
So,
humanly not possible
Yep.
to do that, it seems like.
9 years of, well, here's the thing I say. First of all, he's got the genetics came from his parents, so thank his
Yeah.
parents.
Hard workers, and
Right?
still to this day.
That's
The
right.
genetics and
Yeah.
the work ethic came from his parents. So we got to thank them first. Well, we got to thank our creator first. Because
Absolutely,
he created
amen.
this
right.
Specimen.
human, right?
Yeah.
And gave him, what he needed to be
From a
able to do
small
this,
town of Avenal.
right?
Right.
Then his parents, and his upbringing, the coaches he had as a kid who taught him well and pushed him in cross country and soccer, these different sports, and his boxing coach, Armando, who really built the base for what Jose is today. Armando Macias, is a truly great man who really did great things with Jose and guided him and kept him, in the right frame of mind. Because I heard the stories about all these tournaments. The other kids are, once they weigh in and they're eating candy, Jose was never for a moment did he have a moment of fun. He didn't allow himself to have a moment of fun until the tournament was over. He was always so singularly focused and serious.
Wow.
And he had a great upbringing between his family, the community there, his other coaches there. There's a great story about his cross-country coach. The best story ever. You have to ask him sometime about when the cross-country coach smacked him. And you got to ask the story sometime.
I will.
It's a great.
Well, if he makes it to the studio, then I'll ask him.
It's such a great story.
I'm 0 for 5.
Yeah.
I am.
It's hard to get places. Yeah, but it's an amazing story, and then I'll come in and say that I finished it off with 9 years of applying scientific principles to training him and getting him to that level of conditioning.
Yeah, you're a big believer. You're a big believer of the new methods of training.
It's all science.
And you take a scientific approach to everything that you do
Guess what we
versus
don't
everybody
do?
else.
We don't run.
I know.
I
was
remember
just
you- I
going to
remember
say
you said
that.
Stop running, boxers. You're not a runner.
Guess
I
what?
remember
I
you
was
said
just,
that.
I was
I
just
remember
going
you
to
said
say
that.
that Jose doesn't even hardly run anymore, huh?
No, we don't run. We do some sprints in the hills, little short 10-second sprints and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But I try to get all these guys out for running. And they're always getting in better shape. They're wasting their time and energy. I actually did a sort of a poll on my own because a lot of these guys don't listen to me on this at first. So I contacted, either found stuff put out by some of the greatest guys, or contacted them myself personally. Who I have relationships. I know talk to at least on Instagram and such. All these other strength conditioning guys and all the top guys in the boxing world doing strength conditioning, every one of them. So we really don't run anymore. We don't have our guys run anymore. Some short sprint intervals, stuff like that. But going and doing road work, going and hitting that 6-mile run every morning, that's the thing in the past. We know that's not what's best. It is working the wrong energy system and the wrong muscle fiber type for what you mainly use in boxing. So taking their legs without getting much benefit.
Is it bad on their knees as well?
And you don't need to do that volume of work. So boxing is high intensity intervals. You should be training in high intensity intervals.
Okay.
So like even with Jose in camp, we'll run in the hills. We do hill sprints.
I sent
once
that
a week.
video.
That's
Do you
it.
have that, KP? I sent you a video. Yeah, he was doing some. Yeah, it was.
Just once a week we do stuff like that in the hills,
Yeah.
and that's it. And we're not gonna, we don't never get up and go on a run in the morning. Don't go to the road work. I try to get my guys to stop doing that. Every guy gets in better shape and gets stronger.
Yeah.
And they stop wasting energy doing things that aren't that important. And when I see these fighters, especially guys that I think my guys are gonna fight, and they're just out there jogging all the time, and especially if I see them swimming, I'm like, my God, what's wrong with you? Like I want to say, who's having you do this?
Yeah.
Like, do they really know what they're doing? Because if we stop and say there's no specificity towards boxing for the swimming, I mean, it's great exercise for a swimmer or general conditioning, but not for boxing. It's totally different movement patterns. And you get strong in the specific movement patterns that you train in.
Jose, he bought into the program 100%.
Yeah, and I like to sit there. He's a guy who's very intelligent, understands things, so I explain to him the science of it so he buys into it more. And it's funny because we'll have conversations with some of the young guys at the gym, and I hear him explaining the things I've explained to him about the science of it.
Yeah.
He's telling them, and they of course, they're going to listen to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
So-
That's interesting.
I mean, I had the opportunity of watching you do 2 sessions with him. We did a small documentary with him, so we saw
Right.
Jose's early session,
Right.
and then when he went down to wild card and he broke that up in 2. And I've said it before, he doesn't take a play off. Like in football, I'm going to take this play off, or
Right.
I'm going to take this strike, or he doesn't. He's just quiet, and I know he's in pain, but he just pushes through, man. His work ethic is crazy.
Amazing.
It's a combination of working hard and working smart.
True.
So it's up to him to work hard,
Yeah,
right? I can't do that part for him. Every workout, anyone can design a hard workout.
yeah,
You can know nothing and come up with a workout that will crush a guy in 5 minutes, right? Just sprint as hard as you can until you collapse, right? I mean,
Yeah.
But you have to work smart.
yeah. You do.
So it's my job to make sure the training is smart, effective, and an efficient use of his time. It's his job to make sure it's hard.
That's
'Cause
right.
He has to put the effort.
True.
Well, he wants to get some return. And the return is the confidence after the training camp and knowing that he did his best that day. Because you don't get it back.
You get one chance every fight,
That's it.
It's not like and the thing is, it's only you. It's not like a team sport.
Right.
Well, I played great. Wide receiver can go out there and have 10, 12 catches for 200 yards, and he'll feel good about himself sometimes. The team may have lost, but he did his job. No one can blame him.
Yeah.
right? It's not that way in boxing.
No,
You know, so.
no, no.
That's so true.
No, trainers, corners, the whole, everybody's important. Everybody has a role to play.
That's right.
So how do we get a hold of you, man? How do we go to this Fight Force, man? Right here. Let me bring this up right here.
You can I do have a little website that I don't really care about, but I don't really.
How do they contact you? If someone says, hey, I like what he's saying, I have some questions for him, I'd love to work out with him, or hey, I got a young fighter coming up. How do they get a hold of you?
Go look at fightforceathletics.com.
And that's your page?
And, yeah, I mean, I just put some stuff up there and let
Okay.
people see some of the fighters I train, some of my philosophy, some videos and pictures and stuff, just for fun. And they can email me through that if they want.
Okay.
You know, I do more. I do some online training through an app that I have.
Yeah.
Where I send workouts and send videos with demonstrations. I do a lot of that for free, just to help people out. That's my way to give back.
Yeah.
People who are
that's
struggling,
good.
don't know what to do, so I put them into groups. So they're in one of maybe 4 or 5 groups I have at a time, and they get their workouts and a nutrition plan. And I don't charge for it, but I've been very, very blessed.
Yeah.
And so my job is to try to be a blessing to other people and give back in some way, and,
There you go.
and do that as well. So.
There you go.
Do you put together like meal preps, or do you have a meal prep
question.
program for the athletes?
So we have a specific diet plan that everybody follows, and we tweak it for the individual athlete. But pretty much everybody does the same thing. It's called a vertical diet, and
Oh,
so
okay.
that's what we want everybody on.
Right.
And actually, Jose Ramirez and I actually are partners in a meal prep company where you can order our meals. It's called Champions Choice Nutrition. You can order them, and they'll be
That's
shipped to
great.
you in dry ice and.
Oh, nice.
It's
Oh,
they
that's
are,
wonderful.
and they're all based on on this diet, the vertical diet. So it's Champion's Choice Nutrition, and it gets shipped to you, and you heat them up. But the thing is, it's all grass-fed meats, like grass-fed bison,
Yeah.
wild line-caught salmon,
Nice.
all organic, non-GMO.
Organic.
It is. The company that produces it is the largest producer of this type of foods in the nation. Have a $1.5 million vacuum sealing system so the food stays fresh.
Wow,
It's
that's
cooked in
great.
bone broth, not oils and butters, so it stays moist, but you're not adding extra waste of calories to it.
Right.
So it's really the healthiest food I think you can get. And people have to realize it's not the same. You can't just go buy some meat at the grocery store and it'd be the same as organic or grass-fed. The fat, the content of the fat is very different. One has high omega-6, one has high omega-3. You need the grass-fed high omega-3. The other one's not actually good for you. Stuff like that. So anybody has questions about nutrition, hit me up through the website, fightforceathletics.com, or even just my name, Charles Tremblay, on Instagram. Send me a message. I'll be happy to give people advice about, I don't care to charge people for that stuff. If I can give you some advice,
Yeah.
it's my opinions based on a lifetime of studying and putting it into practice and education. But, go research that for yourself. Use it as a starting point and see what you think,
How hard is it when you see an athlete or you see a trainer working with a fighter and you're thinking, oh man, give me 6 months with this dude and he'll be dynamite. And
Oh,
yet
yeah.
you got to walk away because you're not in that camp or that fighter is not affiliated with you.
Yeah, I mean, I can watch a video of a guy training and sometimes go, I watch a video, so I won't say who, what, where, but recently on I don't know, is it Fox Sports?
Yeah.
And
Part
showing-
one or part two?
showing some training of some fighters.
Yeah, because
that are fighting
I've been
soon.
watching it too.
I saw some, strength and conditioning stuff. I saw a movement, and I said to myself, well, that movement pattern needs to be corrected by the trainer. I'm like, and if the trainer's not correcting that movement pattern, either they're not watching right then while they were filming it. Maybe they weren't watching while they were filming
Yeah.
that or something. They just said, hey, do this real quick. So I can't say the trainer wouldn't have corrected that, but if that's how the athlete's doing it and they've been with that trainer and that's how they always do it,
Yeah.
well, there's a movement pattern distortion that the trainer isn't aware of, maybe he's not educated on. So I said to myself, I could get better results potentially because I could fix that movement distortion, and that would allow him to get better results from the training and move better and become stronger and be able to, not fatigue as fast because he's engaging, more motor units in that movement, so.
Okay.
Do you-
No, go ahead, Carol.
No, do you
I'm
al-
just going to pick on him.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. Do you offer any kind of like cryotherapy or anything like that? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we have-
I don't know much about it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Recovery, the most important thing for recovery is rest and nutrition. Beyond that, there's a lot of things that have anecdotal evidence, like people say it works, but it's hard to prove with science. So I'm a science guy, right? I'm a researcher. And so when you look at things, you can find why cryotherapy should potentially work.
Yeah.
And that maybe that doesn't, but that's not necessarily good science. So does it work? Well, you have a guy try something. The test is, does it work? Then it works. If you go, you like it, you feel better, then it works for you.
Right.
Unless it's something that we can see that might be possibly detrimental, like yoga, right?
Yeah.
Yoga can be great. But for an athlete, we don't do yoga. Why? Because we don't want to, first of all, being super flexible,
Yeah.
not great for power, not great for power. And we also don't want to stretch underactive muscles, only the overactive muscles. So we prescribe specific stretching only, right? Because you only need as much flexibility as you need for your sport, right? We need
Right.
some mobility, which is different. So we don't do a lot of static stretching, and when we do, it's for only an overactive muscle, so we can undo an imbalance.
Okay.
But cryotherapy, yeah, I mean, some of the guys like it. They feel good. I think it does something for them, so great.
Yeah.
You know, if you like it, and besides, I think the stats are somewhere around 70%. If you believe it
Oh,
works,
okay,
it
yeah.
works, right?
Okay.
I can give you, I think it's 70%. I can give you a sugar pill and tell you it's Tylenol, and your headache will go
Right.
away.
That's
There you
true.
go.
You
That,
know, so
that could be very
Or you
possible
put this shirt on right here, and you all of a sudden become a champion.
it makes
right
you
here.
stronger.
It, it,
Right.
it does.
There
You
you
believe
go.
it'll make you
It
stronger.
does. It does. Right
Hey,
here.
I remember
Fight
being,
Force.
I remember being in grade school, and whenever I got new tennis shoes, I thought I would run faster.
Yeah, that's
Of course.
You
true.
know, so I was looking
Perfect
so I
example.
probably did. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, absolutely. You pushed yourself.
Yeah.
Do you recommend CBD oils or are any like CBD topical
I think
creams
there's
like
some-
for the joints and muscles?
So again, I don't think that we have enough evidence to say it works.
Okay,
Anecdotal, people use it and say it works. But in looking at that,
scientifically.
and I follow a lot of doctors of in nutrition and exercise science and medical doctors who talk on these things a lot. So I'll go by some of their meta-analyses that they do. I trust their word. There's not great evidence, right? If
Okay.
you think it works now, CBD. Look, it's like what was that acai juice?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's something you don't hear about it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Probably still out there, but people aren't getting purple Lamborghinis anymore, right? I'm telling you. But I think 5 years from now, CBD will be gone. I think there's probably some evidence it works for like seizures,
Yeah.
But for other things, it's probably nothing that we can say so far.
What works the best for your joints?
Hydration, a diet high in omega-3, low in omega-6.
Nice.
And moving properly and correcting imbalances so a joint is moving the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
If the knees are being pulled in, it's going to wear out part of the knee, right? So that's the most important things.
Okay. Are you a believer yet of Dak Prescott? Come on, man. You've been busted his balls
No, I'm not a
all
Cowboy.
last year.
Because a lot of my friends are Cowboys fans. Jose's a big Cowboys fan, and
That's right.
And so I'm gonna, I still owe his brother, I think, $10 from last year from a game, but it's, yeah, I mean, he looks pretty good. Their offense looks tremendous right now. I mean, he's not gonna get the payday that my quarterback Goff got,
We'll see. We'll see.
Because he's
there's
more-
a lot of good teams stepping up this year.
Yeah, offense is crazy this year.
Yeah.
Offense
No one's playing defense at all this year.
I mean, it's an offensive league about scoring and making it exciting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why they keep making the rules harder for defense.
Yeah. And protecting the quarterbacks
Yeah.
all day.
And as a former high school defensive back and special teams player, mostly,
Yeah.
once in a while,
Did you go for the hit or the interception?
listen, I played tailback. Did
Okay.
you know that?
No, I didn't.
Anytime I got off the bench, the coach said, "Get your tailback." But
That's funny.
There you go. There you
I go for the hit. I don't care
There you
about
go.
the ball.
That's
yeah,
funny.
no, hey, kept it honest, man, and real.
I heard you're a beast, though. I mean, I heard you like bench press over 500 or something like that.
I
And you're
was-
like, I don't know what you weigh, 180, 185 or something.
I mean, I was.
That's because he put the shirt on.
all you gotta do is wear
That's
a
what it
shirt.
was. Wear the shirt.
Wear a
Yeah,
shirt.
right?
There was a time I was pretty damn strong, man. I was pretty strong. I
Yeah.
had some pretty huge numbers for my size.
Uh-huh.
I said I won a world championship, set some 5 American and 2 world records, I think.
Wow.
More state records than I can remember, but it's that's what I did. I put a lot of time, energy, effort into that.
Yeah.
Good.
Now I'm putting that time, energy, effort into education, into my other fighters, into my daughters, and into this radio or this podcast. I'll be a big promoter of this podcast.
Yes,
Aw.
appreciate
Trying to help it
that.
go
Thank you.
worldwide and
Yeah.
you know,
Worldwide, global. I mean, I truly
champions
believe
got to stick
it.
together.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. See, because Carol texted me right now. You didn't read the text. She said, Richard, I want to see this shirt works. She goes, I'm going to be strong. She goes, I'm going to put this on and I'm going to go have about 3 buckets of Corona at Bobby Salazar's afterwards because their salsa is good and I'm going to see if it'll protect me
Oh,
from that
sure.
buzz.
Hold on,
Okay,
though,
yeah,
hold on.
right.
But
Not-
do
not for
but do you
me.
get the Jose Ramirez salsa?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
What's the Jose
He
Ramirez
has his own
salsa?
salsa, Bobby Salazar's.
He doesn't.
You can buy it in the stores. There's a picture on it and everything.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I
it has
didn't
a son's
see that.
picture inside too, right? Isn't it his son's
is it? I
pictures?
understand.
Or was it? No, he mentions his son in there.
I went with him to do the taste test to see,
Yeah.
pick the salsas and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the one initially he picked was so hot. It
Oh
was so
God,
hot.
yeah, I can't handle it.
Yeah, I
too
bet
hot.
there was a compromise there because he wanted it hot, like close to his mom's.
Oh,
I
that's
remember he
crazy.
mentioned
But
that.
not everybody can handle that.
No,
No,
not everybody can.
uh-uh.
I grew up with that kind of stuff,
I like Bobby Salazar's salsa and also some old school tapatio, man. Don't go wrong with that.
I'm the same way.
I put either Tapatio or Valentino or
Cholula.
I had Cholula in my house,
Yeah.
or sriracha on everything.
No sriracha.
Everything I eat almost. Oh, I love sriracha.
Sriracha
can't
has
go
to be
back.
mixed with something or something.
Sriracha, like cook a nice steak, cut it
Yeah,
up with
yeah.
some white rice, put that in there, put sriracha all over there, mix it up. It's the best thing you'll ever eat in your life.
We need to have a cook-off. The
Yes.
Fighter's Voice first annual
Yes.
cook-off.
Or share some good recipes, some healthy recipes. We need to
Yeah,
talk
no,
more
exactly.
about health
Exactly.
and
You
more
know
about
what? You know what? I want to do an annual thing, at least once a month, where you come here and talk about the meal plans.
Yeah.
Because
That
the
would be
fighters
great.
and the platform that come here, they eat bad, and they'll they
Some of
really
them
don't
think
prepare.
they eat okay,
They don't
though.
really don't prepare themselves. I mean, they're preparing their meals based on what they know.
right.
And what's happening is people are, fighters are eating weight loss diets. That's
Yeah.
not performance diets, right?
Yes.
We're going to eat chicken breast and vegetables. So first of all, if you're an athlete, stop eating all this chicken breast and broccoli. Okay, that's not fueling your performance. Okay, if I'm going to take 500 calories of steak versus 500 calories of chicken, the micronutrients in the steak is far greater. You need to eat red meat. I eat red meat 7 days a week and usually twice a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw an old post. You, man, I scored some meat today.
A
Hey,
lot of meat.
you found it? No, the one in your yard?
Oh, I found I was out for a little
Yeah,
jog.
yeah.
Every once in a while, I go for a little jog, even a little walk, just to clear my mind.
Yeah.
Like, that's meditation for me.
Yeah,
not
there you go.
conditioning, right? But it's but I'll find someone drops some meat on the sidewalk out there.
There you go.
What?
Yeah, it's still
Oh,
still. It's barbecue
I didn't
time.
take it, of
Shoot.
course. Of course I didn't take it.
Nah, it's late.
But-
But I like the post. Like, what are you
That's
doing, my man?
funny. Yeah,
Someone
street- that's
plowing
what
it
street
there.
meat they call it, street
Yeah,
meat.
it's street meat.
That's no thanks. That's
Street
disgusting.
gardening.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want that.
There you go. There you are. Hey, anything you got for us, Carol?
No, just thanks for coming on the show today and
Absolutely.
sharing what you do with everyone. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that if they don't know who you are, they're going to really support
Yeah.
you for what you do for the fighters, as well as any athlete or anybody that needs any kind of conditioning and strength training and nutrition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What do you want to end with, Charles?
I think people watching this should tell all their friends about it.
Yep.
This is a fun show. It's a good show.
Thank
You
you.
got very knowledgeable people. You've been able to bring on some big names in boxing.
We've been
You know,
blessed, man.
And they should tell their friends to listen to the show and let's grow it together.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you acknowledge that, and I'll keep saying that to Blue in the face. This show is blessed. A lot of people have come here on this show, and their career has changed for the better. When they didn't think things were going to happen, they would come on the show, and we call things as if they're not as if they are. And I'll just leave it at that. And to be a part of it, man, seriously, it's truly a blessing. It really is. It really is. Hey, I hope you enjoy the show. Rich Ortiz, your host of the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. I want to thank our guest, Mr. Charles Tremblay, making it happen, future doctor, and it's about to happen. He's with the great team. Iron sharpens iron. You got Rick Morrigan. You got Jose Ramirez. You got Luis Ramirez. You got Robert Garcia Jr., and, of course, Charles Tremblay. And if I left somebody out, my bad. Listen, that is a strong team. And I didn't get to mention Jose on my dream fight, but I'll do it soon. We got some business to take care of, and he's going to take care of business. And Jose's our voice here. He's our champion, homegrown. A lot of people see Jose, and just like Julio Cesar Chavez. And I only make the comparison, like every Saturday we were there watching Julio Cesar Chavez. Now, when Jose is in the media, whenever he fights, he has that same support system, but he belongs to us here, homegrown. Fresno has adopted him, and we wish him the best, and he's doing really well. I want to thank Carol, the co-host with the most, making it happen. Tomorrow's show, we're going to have Ken Wayne Shamrock back on the show. We had him on the show to talk about the bare knuckle, Valor bare knuckle, and he's going to come back on tomorrow and do a recap. And then we're going to be talking about LeVar Johnson, and then Fresno's own. We got a match coming up. We got Alonzo Morales. He's getting in the ring. He's dedicating this fight to a special someone, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Hey, as always, it's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember,
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.